Well, it may have been a little while since you've seen old BenJee on the old YouTube. Cab's on, and I've done a lot of work to this old girl this year. It was a productive summer. It's come a long ways, and if you've seen my other videos, you'll appreciate the state it's in now. Neither here nor there, let me get on to why I brought you here today. I've noticed quite a vibration kind of starting in BenJee, and I'm pretty sure that I know what it is. So when I get underneath her and I look at the driveline, someone had recently, before I purchased it, put new U-joints in the rear driveline, and everything seems really tight there. But when I put the 2.5-inch suspension lift on her, I think I changed that pinion angle enough to where I'm getting a little bit too much deflection between the transfer case and the rear end. I didn't change the angle at all. So what I've done, I got onto the internet, because that's where you buy stuff these days, and I got these 4-degree shims. So what I'm going to try to do without killing myself is just relieving the load off this side of the suspension, getting the body up and the suspension off of the axle, unbolting this side, just dropping one end of it, clamping the spring stack together, and then taking the center eye bolt out and then putting in the 4-degree shim and then hopefully putting it back up in there. So I'm hoping it's as straightforward as I think it could be. Like I say, I've never done this before, but it seems like a pretty straightforward thing, especially after you've actually gone through the process of installing a suspension lift. You kind of understand how all this is supposed to work. Not a big deal. So let's get after it here. So if you've been along with me before on a few of my little mechanical adventures here with old BenJee the Jeep, you know that my favorite shop floor is a piece of cardboard. So let's lay the cardboard down. I'm going to throw you underneath here with me, and we're going to look at this bad pinion angle I think that's on the driveline. And you can be the judge. You can tell me if you thought maybe this was necessary. I can tell you right now that I'm kind of kicking myself for not doing it when I installed the springs. Oh well, you know. It just makes you a better mechanic when you do things over and over again. All right, check this out. So yeah, there's a pretty good angle. I'm sure that you would agree with me that that's probably a little bit too much. The rear end's just sitting flat, and you know, so's the transfer case. So yeah, I don't have anything to measure what that is, but boy, it's pretty sharp. So yep, we're gonna go ahead and get that 4-degree shim in there and hopefully help it. Hey kitty, what are you doing? All right, so again, I've just put the old jack underneath here, got it on the frame. Just trying to get it to a point where it's kind of got tension off of things. Maybe just kind of, I don't know, you could say that the rear end and the suspension are kind of independent of one another. Kind of floating, if you will. Let's see what we get here. There you go. Did you see her just kind of drop a little bit? Just boop, drop down. That's what we're looking for. Still gonna have to drop the spring because I have to get to the top of that eye bolt and then have enough room to get it out of the top of the leaf. Yeah. That's not an eye bolt. What am I saying? It's the stack bolt. I don't know. Center bolt. Yep. It's one of those. All right. Oh, there we go. So leaf's just hanging down, and I'm going to take that center bolt out. I'm going to grab that 4-degree shim, put it back in there, and we're bolted back into place. So far, this is going kind of easy. All right, so I guess maybe I will explain this in case there are people watching this that don't know what I'm up to. This center bolt through the leaf stack is able to come out. It's got a 5/8 inch nut on the other on the end of it, And then what you do is you take this here shim, you can kind of see the shape of it, and you're going to place it after you take that bolt out right here, and then you're going to put the bolt back through it. You can see what it does is it creates this angle on the top of the stack so that when the rear end comes down and it purchases, it rests against here, it's going to kick the whole rear end is going to get a little bit of an angle deflection to it, and it's going to create a better alignment for that rear drive line and hopefully get rid of that vibration. So there you go, that's what we're up to. However, if you're ever doing this, what you need to keep in mind is that this stack, even though it has these clamps on it, is still probably loaded. It's got some tension in it. So just to make sure nothing goes awry and springs don't go flying everywhere, grab yourself some C-clamps and get them on here to kind of support this whole thing, make sure it doesn't come apart. Now I'm going to put 2 on. This will just compress them, keep them from doing anything weird. I don't think there'd be a problem because, like I say, there's already kind of U-bolts on this stack to hold it in place, but we're going to do this anyway as a precaution. If you got some wide jaw vice grips, those work too. I don't happen to have any of those, so I'm just going to use these here little C-clamps. Hopefully put them in here to where they're mostly out of my way. Like so. All right. Get it on with the grippy, toothy end of the vice grip. There we go. There we go. That's as simple as that. Boy, that actually came loose real easy. Let's get that spun out of there. And if you're wondering the same thing I am, no, they don't make a shim that just simply rests on the top. You have to put that center bolt through it. Let's see if that'll come out now. That might be the chore. I don't know. She's going to come right out. Beauty, Clark. Here we go. All right. Now watch this. Fat end of the shim goes forward, right? And put her in like so. Oh man, I'm gonna have to waller this out. Yeah, the shim hole is too small. Yeah, you got like a 3/8 inch bolt, and that hole is maybe a 5/16. All right, gotta go get the drill and make these boogers fit. The one thing I read online is that since everything underneath here is steel, using aluminum shims might not be the best idea. There's a lot of aluminum shims available. These are steel, and they recommend steel for the reason that steel on steel tends to wear better. Aluminum is a more pliable metal than steel, and so when you use the aluminum shim, it will tend to degrade faster and will start to wear out quicker than the steel shim. So we'll just say this: the aluminum shim won't last as long as the steel shim. Why don't I just summarize things like that? I talk too much. Let me get a drill. There we are. All right, a little bigger hole. Let's go put her in. Here we are. She's tight. One more. Not too tight there. Get this eye bolt back in. Yeah, it's late. I'll show you the results tomorrow. Well, welcome to day 2. It got dark on me last night and I wasn't able to finish my rear end shims. So we're going to attack it again today. The weather's holding up. It's pretty nice out actually. A little overcast. Not expecting rain. So I should be able to get this done pretty quick. The whole thing actually went very well last night until I got to the point where I had to line up the center bolt in the spring stack with the purchase on the axle. The bolt hole didn't want to go in, and I think it's because I've got a little bind on the axle now. I've got one side that's shimmed and the other side that's not yet shimmed. So we're just going to go ahead and jump into the other side and get it done. And I'll let you hang out under the Jeep with me while I do that. It's kind of boring stuff, honestly. There's not a lot to see, but you know, you can hang out and keep me warm. It's a little bit chilly today. Okay, let's get to work. All right, same thing we did on the other side. We're just gonna jack up the Jeep enough, just enough to get the load off the springs, because that's really all you need. And once we do that, then we release the U-bolts, take the back shackle bolt out, and kind of let that hang and drop, put the shim in, real straightforward. Like I say, it's kind of a lather, rinse, repeat of what I did yesterday, but hopefully it'll go just a little bit smoother. And per normal, since we're working in the, quote, big sky shop, get out the patent pending cardboard shop floor. There we go. Let me just show you here. All right, simple access to that center bolt through the stack. And I'm gonna do just like we did on the other side. Put some C-clamps on the stack, hold it all together, get that bolt out, add the shim, put the bolt back in, put it back into place. Like so, and like so. And there you go. Hey, kitty. I can already tell you that what I'm seeing there is that because my shop floor is on an angle, the whole Jeep is kind of a little bit cattywampus right now. It's the axle is not lining up with the leaf springs, specifically where the center bolt goes through and goes into the mount on the axle. So what I'm going to probably have to do after I get this plate started, I'm going to have to get another jack underneath the Jeep and just kind of lift the whole thing up to where things line up a little bit better. Then I can get the axle squarely mounted to the springs. Okay, well, super redneck engineering 2.0 now. Ratchet strap pulling the springs together, and one now pulling the axle ahead, but it's also rotating the axle the way I've got it clamped on here. I feel like if I drop this thing down, put all the weight on it, and just move it a little bit, I think both of these buggers will pop right into place. Because that side over there is the same, little alignment issue. So I think I might try that. So it looks like I'm going to have to try to get that rear end up in the air, get the U-bolts all loosened up, and try to get those center leaf bolts back up into the axles. It's even driving with the U-bolts loose, it still doesn't want to kind of pop into place and align itself. So I think I just need to get everything in the air and get it loose, and it should pop into place. But I'm going to do that over there on a little bit more level ground, because there's a bit of a incline to my workspace here. So I'm gonna move over there. It's even got kind of grass. It's got some grass over there I can lay on, which is supple and easy on my old bones. All right, I'm just gonna try to show you what I've got going on here, the issue I'm dealing with. There's a gap right there. The axle purchase, and then the leaf bolt. The leaf bolt needs to pop up into that purchase there. Same over on this side, although this side is kind of coming together. You can see it wants to move. Maybe if I just loosen things up here, kind of get some weight off of it, it'll just all pop into place. Well, I got them seated. So the springs are now firmly seated to the axles, and I can already see the difference in that little adjustment for the shims. Let me take you underneath there and show you. Notice now those gaps we had between the shim and the axle are gone, so that everything's seated real nice there. And if you can see that, it's seated real nice there. Shocks are back into place. That's good. If you can see that. See how the pumpkin's tilted up a little? Went ahead and added some grease to some things while I was under here. But yeah, I can already see the difference. We'll just have to go take it for a ride and see if my vibration's gone. If it isn't, well, then we got some other issues. Out of the way, kitty. Look out there. Oh, move along. She'll move. All right, let's take this old girl for a little bit of a shakedown here. R for race. Look out, cat. Move it. There we go. There's places where I think I'm going to add some padding in here to do some sound deadening, but we'll get to that later. For now, let's see if we got any vibration. Man, I still feel like there's a bit of a vibration, although I think it might be a little bit less now. Unless I'm just misinterpreting things, it could be exhaust. I don't know. It seems like it's more pronounced when I put my foot into the pedal. It almost goes away when I let off. So it's probably a win, and it was something that was necessary. Those extreme angles in the driveline just are hard on things. They're hard on pinion seals and U-joints, you know, just the whole thing. So it was necessary, and I'm glad I did it. I might put my foam insulation in. See if we can't kill some of the extreme sound in this old girl. I love this top. I love it. I love it. I'm absolutely in love with it, but it's a little noisy. It's just this resonance that you get from the wind, I guess. And this tin is, you know, it just needs a little padding, a little insulation in it. So, okay, so now that we're done with my suspension issues, I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of this foam that I bought. It's mostly for sound deadening. Probably going to add a little bit of insulation as well. So let's just see, first of all, what we got here. I think that the spec on this is, it's 78 inches long, 16 inches wide, by a 1/4 inch thick. So it's 1/4 inch foam. I'm going to show you. Almost like, feels like neoprene almost. You guys can see that. Just a 1/4 inch. This back peels off, it's sticky. And you know, we're just going to lay it right up in here. Cut it to fit. So first thing I need to do though is clean this thing, and I don't really have any other good cleaner, anything better than some good old spray away glass cleaner, so I'm just going to use that. This stuff works great. I don't know why, you know, like Windex that comes in those spray bottles. Man, it's just a subpar product compared to spray away. I like this stuff. Ooh. All right, so as I'd mentioned, these foam sheets are 16 inches wide. So this width here is a little bit more. I think between these ribs is more like 18. Yeah, it's about 18 and a half. So I can't just lay them this way, which would have been nice, right? I probably should have grabbed I should have looked for 18 inch wide sheets. But that's what I got. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut me some sheets that are 18 and a half and just go this way with it, just in between the ribs here. And we'll just lay in a section at a time, right? I'll just go a hair under 18 and a half. And lay this in about like so. And it'll fit right in between the ribs like that. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right, well, let's see if we can make it stick, huh? All right, we may not be able to do a little at a time. Let's just do the whole stinking thing. Here we go. All right, going for broke. Wow, actually goes on pretty well. Well, yeah, I can do it that way. Hey, that's not bad though. Yeah, we can do that. Well, let's cut another sheet and lay it in. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. Oh yeah. Yeah, stuff's nice. It just goes right around any little creases and bends and things, and very malleable. Cool. And we can call it installed. Yeah. Well, that's as far as we're going to get for now. I like it. So here, let me just show you. There you go. It installed pretty nice, you know. I mean, it's okay. You know, my seams are crappy, but you know, I'm just really trying to get some sound deadening in here. And like I say, the other benefit might be some insulation, which, you know, there's an insulation value to that. And you know, I'll just keep going with this when I get more rolls. And I'm also going to do the sides here, I think. I'm thinking. So, you know, I'll fit foam in and around that. You know, that right there. That's why I need to probably get some on here as well, or get rid of some of that acoustic by putting some sound deadening material on there. Yeah, so there we go. Hey, kitty. Oh, Carmel. She's always wondering what's going on. Well, thanks for sticking around. You know, we got a little bit done on the old girl this weekend. You know, shims in the rear end. Got that pumpkin turned a little bit, so hopefully that's going to help in the long run with U-joints, seals, things like that. And then started adding some insulation or some foam acoustic paneling to the inside of the cab, kind of quiet that down. So not a lot going on here. If anything, it was just a good reason to bring you guys back and let you take a look at BenJee with this hard cab on it. I like it. It's pretty cool. Very vintage. And I guess as a bonus for sticking around with me today, I'm going to leave you guys with the visual beauty of Northwest Montana in the fall, brought to you by the brand new DJI Mini 5 Pro. Yeah, I got one. There's a band coming. I had to hurry up and get one. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.